The teenagers had dug a grave for the girl in advance and then killed her with an axe, filming on video, and buried her. Vasilisa was 13 years old. She was in the 7th grade. She was a very trusting, creative, cool girl. In her early years, she already conducted master classes in collage. Studied at an art school, the girl's mother leaves for the country with her eldest daughter, and Vasilisa asks to spend the night with her best friend Marta. 21:40 Vasilisa wrote to her mother that she had met with a friend, they were going home, and around midnight she received a message. Mother, I love you. Thank you for everything later and all together. Mom, I thank you for everything, but I will never come home again. I want something new. I'm going to leave. I'm tired of everything. Don't worry, I won't do anything wrong on my own. Mom understood perfectly well that the girl could not do this. Because a few days before, one of the last male members of the family had left, everyone was very sad, and the girl would never have left her family in such a depressed state and with such consequences. Vasilisa stopped picking up the phone, and it seemed that the phone was turned off. And later she posted this message in her Telegram channel. I do not know which of you I will meet again and who I will not, but I hope that everyone will have a better life. New people and new places are waiting for me. I love you all very much and believe in you. Sons, the next day, Vasilisa was already actively searched for by law enforcement agencies, and her mother in turn wrote to Marta, and it turned out that there should have been no sleepover, and she started calling all her friends and asking for correspondence. Correspondence was sent by all her friends, except for the boy Dimian. He said Vasilisa deleted their correspondence. His real name is Ilya Tataronov. He was born in 2006 in St. Petersburg. His parents are absolutely ordinary people who raised him in love and care. And even before the 7th grade, he was an excellent student. He understood literature, read, was older than Vasilisa. She definitely liked him. She told her mother that she admired his literary skills, that books were often discussed about them, and that he also studied acting in the theater. But his classmates speak ill of him. Few people liked him at school because of his behavior and appearance. He was a loner. He always had long hair, wore only black clothes and wore chains and rings, but not a Satanist, more like a punk. He did dirty tricks to teachers. He could change the password on the electronic board, but he threatened us. He was harsh in his words. He also always had strange tendencies, and one day he wanted to kill a man so badly that he took a hammer and wanted to kill a random passerby, but he got scared. Ran to his parents and has been seeing a psychiatrist ever since. He was prescribed a tranquilizer and diagnosed, but as it turned out at the time of the girl's murder, he stopped using therapy. He had a Telegram channel that he actively maintained for as many as 17 subscribers. And he sometimes posted very strange thoughts there. One of them admitted, "Do you also live in a constant emptiness inside, which once in a while is replaced by a strange mixture of grief, unpleasant awareness, rage, hatred, and extreme degree of joy, disgust for oneself and for everyone around? Disappointment and misunderstanding," and the only person with whom Ilya established a good trusting relationship was his former classmate Vasilisa Rumpin. The girl caught him. She grew up in an intelligent family, studied at the top 5, and wanted to enter the St. Petersburg State Institute. The boys studied together for only a few years because by the age of 17 Ilya had already changed 3 schools, and he was expelled for failing grades and so on. While walking around the Appanage Park, the guys walked. In the 23rd year, they met Vasilisa Fiazova. She was very fascinated that such grown-up guys were communicating with such a little girl. She was in 7th grade. Let me remind you, I fell in love with the company. At the time of Vasilisa's disappearance, after those very messages, 650 rubles were transferred to Vasilisa's card. This, it turns out, was the only thing on the girl's card. The trio walked around the city, but one day Ilya wrote a very strange message to Vasilisa, but she did not attach any importance to it. You know, I'm so tired of Vasilisa with her ridiculous superstitions. Believe in tarot cards, karma, the power of the universe, and other nonsense. Anyway, I want to free her soul. Not only did she not pay attention to this, she decided to participate in the crime with him because it would be fun. By the way, when Vasilisa's mother contacted Vasilisa, She also said that Vasilisa had cleaned up the dialogue with her. It's a little weird, isn't it? On April 20, Ilya and Anfisa went to a hardware store where they bought everything they needed for the crime: a heavy hammer, 2 shovels, construction bags. Because Anfisa is afraid of blood, a few days later, the couple went to a forest area located in the Primorsky district of St. Petersburg. The guys took chips and sweets, and they started digging the grave. Ilya was worried that it wasn't too deep, but we left it as it was because we were tired and the weather was bad. They also recorded on video. Vasilisa knew that Ilya was blogging, and it didn't bother her at all that he had 18 subscribers. So when he invited her to go on a picnic and star in his live interview, she was very happy, and Anfisa also fueled the interest. Come in the evening. It will be more atmospheric, and take something to eat with you. Then we'll spend the night at Leah's. Don't tell anyone. It's going to be our secret party. And Vasilisa, after her collage workshop, went not to spend the night with Marta but to the edge of the forest. After 10 minutes of walking, they stopped at a place that was about 50 meters from the hole they had dug. The guys spread a blanket on the edge of the forest 50 meters from this pit, had fun, ate, and later the interview began, in which at first the questions were harmless. Like, what are you into and what is your favorite food? And then, what would you say goodbye to your family? All this time, Anfisa was saying, look at the camera, because Ilya was pulling out a hammer from behind, so he started hitting the girl. It was all captured on camera. And Anfisa screamed, go on, go on. The juvenile maniac says that he wanted to prove his greatness. Later, Ilya decided to strangle the girl, but Anfisa says that at that moment she had already run away. She was afraid of blood. They had bought the bag specifically for this. But at the same time, when Ilya killed the girl, her hands did not even flinch. And after the crime, Anfisa and Ilya went to visit him, drank tonic and shared their impressions, and Anfisa also said that she has another girl in mind that she would like to kill. Ilya said, no, don't. He began to realize, and she said she would kill her alone. On May 2, Ilya already went to school. He behaved as usual, except that he looked a little sleepy, and Anfisa also couldn't be said to feel guilty. But as it turned out, the next morning she confessed everything to her mother. And she called the police. Anfisa told Ilya that she confessed to her mother on May 1. He realized that the police were coming for him, but he didn't want to go to jail, so he wrote this letter to his Telegram channel. Friends, this is how my story ends. I was a sociopath and I never loved anyone. And it all ended on Sunday night. I killed a man. I did it with Vasilisa, my friend. I killed her to prove to myself my greatness, my ability to do terrible things, and I was able to prove myself. I understand that I cannot escape punishment, and I would just leave. But a little later, the boy wrote this post. Unfortunately, I'm too weak to do that. I'll give up, so I'm going to sit down. Therefore, when the police came to him on May 2, he calmly opened the door to them and said that he was ready to give a sincere confession. Ilya was honest in the interrogation, but Anfisa lied. It was Ilya's idea. When we got home, he said he wanted to do it one more time. A passerby, any other person. It scared me. I was afraid I might be next. When everything happened, I was afraid to call the police or run away. I was shackled by fear, and my brain completely shut down. I'm sorry for what happened. My act is terrible. When I was helping Ilya, I thought it was a dream. A forensic psychiatric examination showed that both Anfisa and Ilya are absolutely sane. Ilya only had signs of psychopathy. The most surreal thing about this situation is that Ilya was given 7 years in prison, and Anfisa was charged with 1 year of this term for theft. Has the money that Anfisa transferred from Vasilisa's card to her own. She also wanted to take her keys and later, when no one was at home, rob the apartment, but that's according to Ilya, so it's hard to make sure. The scariest thing is how little time they got, and the guys will be out of prison sometime in 24 years. But the most disgusting thing is that the parents of these creatures just want to hide everything. They ask the media not to spread information, and they also say that after leaving prison, the children will simply change their names and live a normal life. I've told you the full story in short, but if you want to look at the girl's mother in general, there are more shots with her. Then watch it on YouTube from Elena Publicasaga. That's such an insanely difficult story. Thanks a lot for watching. Please be careful, healthy and happy. Subscribe to my channel. Bye everyone.